Hi everyone, welcome to another Honeybee Stamps card making video. I am going to be creating this holiday card with a postage theme today, and I'm primarily going to be using the mini holiday floral and time to go postcard die sets. These are really gorgeous sets, and I'm going to show you how they can coordinate together. I've die cut out all of my mini holiday florals from white cardstock, and I'm going to add some color to these white pieces with some different colors of ink. I'm mostly using distress inks today. I think I mix in a little bit of Pink Fresh here and there as well, but primarily I am using distress inks. I do show you the colors I'm using here off to the side, and I am going to assemble these different pieces as I get them colored. And this set does come with a layering guide. It is super easy to follow, as are all of the lovely layers from Honeybee. And this little mini holiday floral set just has so many gorgeous florals. And honestly, you could definitely use these throughout the year. I mean, the poinsettia is kind of like more traditional Christmas or holiday, but definitely a lot of the other little bits that are in this set you could use for sure all year. So I just love how that looks when it's all layered up. And I'm also layering the distress inks with some distress spritz spray. So for this one, I am using the Kitsch Flamingo spray over top. And I hope you can see there just how really pretty and sparkly and shiny that makes these gorgeous, lovely layers die cut pieces. So here I'm going in with one of the greenery sprigs here from the set, and just starting off there with a little bit of twisted citron, and then going in with a darker green just to add that little bit of contrast on those leaves. And then those leaves, of course, layer over top of the base piece so perfectly and easily. Really, really easy to put these together. And you can add whatever colors you want to these different pieces, or of course you can die cut them from colored cardstock if you want as well. So for this piece, it does coordinate with the little berries that are part of that die set if you want. And I just thought these little berries definitely looked really super cute on this green base. So I am going to add 4 of the berries onto this leafery sprig and then set that aside as well. But before I set it aside, I am going to spritz it as well, because I am addicted to the distress spritzes. I think they're gorgeous, and that was twisted citron. So now I've got some more of the die cut pieces from the mini holiday florals on my, again, this is on my Alt-New grip mat. And I wanted to work some grays in here as well, because I am going to be using some gray cardstock on my project. And so you will see me using, again, some of the greens I've used previously. And then for that sprig up at the top there, I'm going to use, again, the Lost Shadow. Here for this piece, I am going to coordinate a little bit of this really pretty, I think it's mulberry from Pink Fresh. And I'm also going to use a little bit of gray as well. This is the Lost Shadow. And I'll just go ahead and add those little gray pieces to this mulberry sprig branch, and I just love the gray and that mulberry together. I think that's really pretty and kind of festive looking as well. So when you're thinking about a festive color scheme, you can definitely think outside the box. You don't have to go with traditional colors. You can definitely mix it up and go with more non-traditional. I think that's really fun to do. And I did have a lot of fun thinking about my color scheme today and what I wanted to do for my different lovely layers. So now this is another one of the florals from the mini holiday floral, and this is one of the larger ones. I wanted to have more than one pink flower, so again, I'm going in with some of the colors of pink that I've used before, coordinating it in kind of with that reddish mulberry kind of a color again. And here you can just see I'm assembling this, and I'm not using the layering guide to assemble it. I'm just going by the markings that are on the layers. And of course, in true lovely layers style, you'll notice that some of the pieces have the embossing on them, and those will always be layers that show. So you won't cover up the layers that have the embossing on them. Those typically get covered with another layer. And just love how that comes together there. That's super pretty. And I do layer each one of these different florals with the spritz spray. I don't show you spritzing all of the different pieces, but I did add some spritz spray to each one of these different Lovely Layers florals from this set. Now I did want to get a little bit of blue in here. I thought about not adding blue, and then I thought, you know what? The teal always looks really pretty with pink for a color combination that's a little bit non-traditional for holiday. And I love that. And again, I wanted to work some gray in here as well. So I've got a little bit of the teal, which looks so pretty. Sorry about my phone. I forgot to shut that off. And so I've got a little bit of that teal in here and just love that. I think it looks so pretty. But I am using a little bit of speckled egg with the peacock feathers just to kind of have that little bit of muted tone. And I'm working in some grays for this one as well. So really beautiful. I love that color combo. And again, I didn't want things to be too dark. I'm trying to keep this kind of like a little bit more fresh looking. So that's kind of what I was going for here. And again, just using the different markings here to glue these together. And if you need to use the guide, you definitely can just use the guide that comes with the die set to help you layer these together, because there are a lot of pieces. I don't know how many pieces there are in this die set, but there are quite a few. So, but it is easy to put together. And now I'm going with the last little bit here. This one, I'm going to do a combination of the blue and green together with a little bit of coral for the throat of the flower. And I think that's just a really pretty combo. And this is going to look really nice when it's all put together here. So I'll just add a little bit of a coral color to the centers of my flowers here. And then you will see in a little transition how those have all come together. I'll add these onto this little stem. And this is just really pretty. So love that. Just really kind of delicate. And that's going to add just another nice little layer to my project. Now I am going to use the let me think about this. The postmarked holiday red rubber stamp set. This is definitely from the new Cozy Christmas collection. And I love this. I love stamping with red rubber. There's nothing like it. It stamps beautifully. And what I did was I cut out some of the little squares from the Time to Go postcard die set. And these are going to insert onto the little postage background. But I wanted to stamp with the postmarked holiday red rubber set onto these little insert pieces for my stamps. And just to make them look like holiday scene stamps that, you can often get at Christmas time at your post office. Now, this is another one of those red rubber stamps. This is one of the cancellation stamps. And I am using a combination of the grays from Distress to add these on. And I just wanted this to be kind of like subtle. Now, this stamp is actually from Post Perfect. This is an older stamp set from one of the past releases during the holiday season. And this one is a clear stamp. And I'm stamping that out with some Versamark gray ink. Sorry, not Versamark, VersaFine Morning Mist gray ink. It's just a nice crisp pigment ink that is going to stamp out another one of those postage marks there. Now these die cut pieces are from the Time to Go postcard die set. And so I die cut out that base and the frame from white as well. And now I'm just fitting in these little stamps into the areas here. Now you could definitely cut these apart and make these into individual stamps, but I wanted to keep this together because I want it to be kind of like one of the focal point areas for my project where my sentiment is going to go. Now I also die cut out the little frames. So what happens when you cut this frame is it leaves that little center offcut, which is what I stamped on. And then I thought it would be really cute to add this frame back over top of this base. And it just kind of finishes it off nicely. And I definitely could have done this with different colored cardstock, but I just sort of liked the white. I thought it just looked really clean. And it's going to coordinate nicely with the colors that I chose for my ink. And it's also, I think, going to look really nice on the gray embossed background that you'll see me using here for my card. So I'm just going to give that a good press. Now I did use the wood plank 3D embossing folder to emboss this gray cardstock. And I used the Time to Go postcard die base to decide what size I'm going to use for my card base. So this white card base is actually about 4 by 6. And I sized this 3D embossed piece just slightly more narrow than the 4 inches, but it is 6 inches in length. And then I die cut this frame using the Time to Go postcard dies from some red cardstock, and that's going to frame out my card front, which I like. I just think that looks really nice and finished. And then now you can see where that this little postage piece is going to go on my card front. So I like that. And now I'm going to go ahead and build my layers from my mini holiday florals. So here you can see the method to my madness with wanting to have a couple of pink florals. I wanted those kind of to be diagonal from each other. Then I'm going to work on adding the greenery in. You can see that this would have been really pretty with just the pinks and greens, but I think it is nice too with the blue. I'm not sorry that I added the blue in, but just to give you some food for thought, if you wanted to recreate this card, you wouldn't necessarily need the blues in there. You could definitely just stick with the red, the gray, the pink, and the green. So I'm just adding my little sprigs here and there just to kind of like fill out this little bouquet of beautiful pieces. And I love how this looks together. I think the colors are really pretty. I like the shape of this for sure. And once I had everything kind of where I wanted, I pushed on the pieces with some press and seal. And then I added my adhesive onto the back. And now the adhesive is adhering onto my card front. And I'm going to just go ahead and peel off that press and seal. And in that way, I've kept everything where I want it on my card front. So once I've got that off of there, I'm really happy with where this is, except I actually changed the position of those 2 gray pieces, that sprig and the little pine cone. And you'll see me fuss with some of the greenery here in a minute. But this Noel greeting is from the Great Greetings Holiday, which is a gorgeous die set. I love it. It's a very large set with lots of different sentiments in it. And I wanted to use the Noel, so I die cut that from green, and then I die cut the backer from vellum. So you can just see how I moved that greenery at the bottom there, just so that it kind of goes down into that space at the bottom, so it kind of fills that out, and it doesn't look so blank down there. Now I'm adding some white splatter because I love it. I love splatter. I've been splattering since 1964, friends, and I love it. I think it looks great. I am going to add my Noel sentiment here with a little bit of liquid adhesive. Of course, that's my honeybee adhesive, just using my honeybee tweezers to get this into place. Now, I really wanted to add some gems, so I'm going to add the gingerbread gemstones from the new release. And that is going to finish off my card today. Friends, I have linked up in the description box below to all of the different products that I've used for my project today. Thank you so much for watching me. I appreciate it. I appreciate you. Don't forget to give us a thumbs up and leave a comment, and I will see you again very soon. Bye-bye.